This presentation focuses on the case study Malaysia as the Global Pioneer and Powerhouse in the Sukuk Market. I will begin by explaining the role of Bank Negara Malaysia or BNM in supporting and developing Malaysia's Sukuk Market. Firstly, BNM ensures financial system regulation and market stability by supervising Islamic financial institutions. It operates safe, sound and Shariah compliance. And the news show highlight a real case where BNM emphasized the importance of strength of the Islamic finance system to support market confidence and stability. BNM also provide liquidity and capital assurance by maintaining strong liquidity ratios such as the liquidity coverage ratio and net stable funding ratio. Banks are able to support sukuk transactions withstand financial distress. In addition, BNM mitigate systemic risk through macroprudential monitoring, stress testing, and capital adequacy assessment. This helps prevent major institutional failures and improve investor confidence, as seen in the recent news where BNM warned about global structural risks. Overall, by ensuring a stable, liquid, and resilient financial system, BNM play a key role in supporting sukuk development and reinforce Malaysia's position as a leading global sukuk.
The Securities Commission plays a direct and active role in developing Malaysia's sukuk market. First, from a regulatory perspective, the SC established sukuk issuance standard, disclosure requirement, and investor protection mechanism. This improved transparency, reduced information asymmetry, and strengthened overall market confidence. Second, in terms of market development and innovation, the SC introduced new sukuk frameworks such as retail sukuk, which allow wider public participation and sustainable and responsible investment, or SRI sukuk, which support green, social, and ESG-related financing. For this section, I will focus on the Securities Commission Malaysia, or SC. The SC is a self-funded statutory body established in 1993 under the Securities Commission Act. It is responsible for regulating and developing Malaysia capital market, including sukuk market. In carrying out its role, the SC placed strong emphasis on investor protection, transparency, and market integrity. These principles are especially important in the sukuk market as they help build trust among issuers and investors, both locally and internationally.
What is sukuk? Sukuk is basically the Islamic version of a bond, but it is very different because it does not involve any interest or riba. When someone buys sukuk, they are not lending their money. Instead, they are buying ownership in something real, such as underlying asset in a project or even a service. Because the returns come from real economic activity like rental income or even business profits and not from interest, sukuk is fully Sharia compliant. Sukuk was seen as a specialized instrument and mainly attractive to Islamic investors. But over time, with continuous financial innovation, sukuk was widely used in the global market. And Malaysia is one of the best examples of this transformation. The country has developed sukuk structure steadily and has strong regulatory support into the Securities Commission and Bank Negara Malaysia. I will start with Ijarah sukuk, which is one of the earliest and simplest sukuk structures used in Malaysia. Ijarah means leasing. In this structure, investors use their money to buy an asset such as building or equipment. This asset is then leased to the issuer, and the issuer pays rental income, and this rental income is distributed to the investors as their return. Ijarah sukuk is low risk and very similar to conventional bonds, but it does not involve any interest. Because of its simplicity, Ijarah sukuk was important in building investor confidence during the early stage of the sukuk market. As the sukuk market in Malaysia developed, more profit-sharing structures such as Musyarakat sukuk were introduced. Musyarakat is a partnership arrangement where both the investors and issuer contribute capital to a project. Any profit generated is shared according to an agreed ratio, while losses are shared based on the amount of the capital contributed. This structure reflects true Islamic finance principles because it promotes risk sharing instead of guaranteed returns. Another important structure introduced during the development stage is Mudarabah sukuk. In Mudarabah, investors provide the capital, while the issuer acts as the manager who runs the project. Profits are shared accordingly to a pre-agreed ratio, but if the project makes a loss, the loss is borne by the investors, unless the manager is negligent. In the modern stage, Malaysia introduced hybrid sukuk, which combine more than one Islamic contract such as Ijarah, Musyarakah, and Wakalah within a simple sukuk structure. Hybrid sukuk offers a greater flexibility and allows issuers to meet more complex financing needs. This structure is commonly used in innovative sukuk such as green sukuk and SRI sukuk. Hybrid sukuk helps attract both Islamic and conventional investors and strengthens Malaysia's position as a global leader in sukuk innovation.
Next is a innovative Sukuk issuance, Malaysia's Green Sukuk 2017. In 2017, Malaysia created history by issuing the words for Green Sukuk through Tadau Energy. The Sukuk was issued under the Sustainable and Responsible Investment or SRI Sukuk framework introduced by the Securities Commission Malaysia. The main purpose of this green sukuk was to finance solar photovoltaic energy projects supporting the growth of renewable energy. This initiative shows that Islamic finance can go beyond Shariah compliance by also promoting environmental sustainability and responsible investment. Overall, this issuance positioned Malaysia as a global pioneer in sustainable Islamic finance. Next is the sukuk structure. The green sukuk was structured using a wakalah model, where sukuk holders appointed the issuer as an agent to manage the funds. All proceeds were fully allocated to Shariah compliance and environmentally sustainable activities, specifically a solar energy project. This structure ensures the sukuk is asset-backed rather than debt-based. Investor returns were generated from the actual cash flows of the solar project, not from interest, strengthening Shariah compliance. Next is Shariah compliance. From a Shariah perspective, the green sukuk avoided the riba and excessive uncertainty, ensure transparency and investor only in halal activities. It also aligned with the maqasid al-Shari'ah, particularly the protection of wealth and the environment. Impact on investors. For Islamic investors, the green sukuk proved that financial return can be achieved while supporting ethical and sustainable goals. For conventional investors, it offers a strong alternative to green bonds and align well with ESG principles. Overall, it strengthened Malaysia's position in the global sustainable finance market.
Malaysia has led the global sukuk market for many years. However, competition from Gulf countries such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE as well as emerging markets like Indonesia is increasing. Because of this, Malaysia cannot rely on past success alone and must plan strategically to maintain its leadership in the coming years. One major issue in the global sukuk market is the lack of consistent Sharia interpretation and legal standard. Malaysia can strengthen its position by becoming a global leader in Sharia governance through collaboration with regulators and international bodies. Here we see Malaysia's share of the global sukuk market at 33.9%, holding the largest individual single country market share as of mid-2025. The remaining 66.1% represent other markets including GCC countries and Indonesia. This explains why Malaysia must adopt new strategy to maintain its leaderships.
For fintech and digital sukuk, financial technology plays an important role. Digital sukuk using blockchain and smart contract can improve transparency, reduce operational risk, and ensure continuous Sharia compliance. This strategy helped Malaysia stand out from competing markets. For ESG sustainable finance, Malaysia already has a strong foundation in green and SRI sukuk. By expanding sustainability-linked sukuk, Malaysia can finance renewable energy, infrastructure, and social development projects. This strategy aligns with the maqasid al-Shari'ah, especially the protection of life, wealth, and the environment. In conclusion, to remain a global leader in the sukuk market, Malaysia must focus on strategy differentiation through stronger Sharia governance, fintech innovation, and ESG-based sustainable finance. That's all for me. Thank you.